Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Another Thursday night in the Riverbend. That means another sea shanty sing-along underway down at Morrison's Irish Pub until 9 o'clock. It also means Riverbend Talent on the air, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Bors of Macias Insurance, of German Insurance up there in Jerseyville. We got the open mic scheduled tonight at the Conservatory with Scotty the Hottie, Space Wolf Miller. BC Homegrown playing at Fast Eddie's until 10 o'clock tonight. Blake Foltz, 9 o'clock at the Backstage in Edwardsville. Peter Porcelain underway at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville until 9. Lindsay Wolford starts at 7 and goes until 10 at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville. We got Spilly Nelson Duo up there at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville until 9 o'clock. Dave Caputo already underway at 5:30. His start time at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey goes till 8:30. And then Jeremy Drake, Shotgun Creek's Jeremy Drake, underway at the Press House. That's the Old Harold Brewing in Collinsville. And it's Pigpen. That's no big deal.
Hello, everybody.
That guy. But the good news is we got some old friends back in town.
We do. You know what? Real quick before we bring these guests on, I just want to give a little shout out to Andy up at George's. Music on a Tuesday now. He's expanding.
Okay.
I'm just saying, when you read this, just read Spilly Nelson on Thursday night. Oh, I'm sorry, Thursday. I woke up thinking it was Tuesday. Yeah. I pre-gamed too much. No, we do. You're right. We got some old friends coming in, and it's been a minute since Flatliner's been on with us because
It's been a minute since they played a gig.
Well, I was getting ready to, because they have been on hiatus, as we call it. That's a fancy word for saying we don't know what's going to happen next. Hiatus is one of those words. It's like, well, we're not really calling it quits, but nobody's got time for this right now, kind of thing. So, Flatliner, I'm just going to start this introduction with the way that my biggest memory of these guys. First of all, nice guys. They made me a V-neck T-shirt, and it's soft. It's not one of these cheap ones either.
It's lasted. I'll give you that.
It has lasted for years, and it's
Shout out to Exposed Graphics. Do they still exist?
Megan Carter and DJ Carter, they were amazing to work with.
Yeah, are they
they've
still?
got more in the embroidery business now.
Okay.
Rather than doing the shirts, I could be wrong, but I think that's
okay. Yeah, you've been out of town.
Great group of people. They've been really good.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, they're such nice guys. They made me a V-neck T-shirt. But this is where they got me, because I met them. They're nice guys. I'd never actually seen them play, and I was at a festival working on one stage. They were doing the other stage, and the second that they started, I had to stop what I was doing, drop the gear I had in my hands, and walk over, because it sounded perfect from the first note. And as a guy who's been to a bunch of music festivals and worked at them and stuff, most people, you start with a pretty plain Jane sound, and you work into that. Oh wow, that's compressed perfectly. Listen to that. And you guys blew me away, because I saw your system. It takes a lot of work to get to that point. It doesn't just happen. You've worked hard, but you guys, you really from the drop of a dime had my attention, because it was right. And to the point that it really did. It stuck. It's still sticks to my ribs like peanut butter, because you just don't see it that often. I mean, maybe at a huge professional show. I went and saw that guy Zach Bryan last week. Dude, he was out of sight from the get-go. I expect that. He's playing the Dome,
right,
with $10 million worth of equipment in front of my eyes, or whatever. 21-piece band. Holy smoke, you can hear them all
crazy.
perfect. All perfect. That kind of thing sticks to you, You guys stuck to me like that. I saw it was out at the VFW. I can't remember, Trinity River Fest or one of these. Yeah. And, man, it was a good time. But I did walk away going, okay, they're doing what we've been working, my band have been working towards, where you got the in-ears, you've got everything, where it sounds like everybody already wants it up here. There's no, we got to work to it.
That's the way to go. You can save your shows, reload them, and you are ready to pretty much rock.
You know, and any old timers out there like digital, I don't do digital. There was a time when I would have agreed with that, because when digital was new, it didn't sound right. It sounded funky. They hadn't worked out the bugs. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not that way anymore. The digital sounds amazing, and for about $1,000, you can carry around 24 channels with EQ, with delay, with reverb, with compression, a truckload of gear that you carry in one hand for a price that you can actually afford. And even if you had an analog board, you really got 24 compressors and 24 EQs and 24 delays and 24, and if you do, wow, you got a lot of money wrapped up in this.
And just to show the difference there, Pigpen, when we bought that Mackie board, that would be the late 90s.
Yeah.
46 channels, compressor on every channel, digital board, $15,000.
Yeah.
15 grand, 10 grand for the board, another 5 for the recorder.
Right.
And it was only 24 channels on the recorder, but that was huge at the time.
Because it's one of those. It's the same old story with technology. When it first comes out, it's big. It's still got some hiccups to work out, and it's expensive. Because it's new not to the military, but new to us. Right. The military's had it for 20 years, but they got something better. They're finally letting us do this. And, but anyway, like you say, back then that was top. That was a professional quality gear that you paid professional. Now for under $1,000, you can get a 24 channel mixer, delivered to your house with everything on it. Yeah. That records. You want to record it with or without effects? How do you want to do this?
You can even. What was cool is we used to save our shows. We had a USB stick you stick in there. And you can record 4 hours the whole night and then remix it later.
So that's what I mean. Like, if we take our gear, I'm too lazy to take my gear out of the house very often. But if we do, we can record the show. Like you say, with the effects, without the effects, you've got it multi-tracked. And if you record it flat, without any effects, where you're not mixing to this room, you basically got a studio sounding recording,
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and the clarity is just insane. Like you going to the in-ears. I know you guys use in-ear monitors. It's so clear you hear every mistake you make. You can't hide in the room. You can't, it's in your head that you just messed up.
I was always a monitor guy until we went to those.
Lean in just a little.
They take a little to get used to.
Lean in a little too. I couldn't quite hear you.
So I was always a floor monitor guy. It took a little bit of getting used to for that, but once you got it, you can't go back.
So I still do go back and forth a little bit because it's one of those. I jammed with some guys I hadn't jammed with for a minute. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go with the room for just for comfort. But like if you're jamming every week with the same guys on a regular basis, man, I want those in-ear monitors because it already sounds perfect. By the way, I introduced him as Flatliner, but let's go through here. Right next to me, sitting here to my right, we've got Mr. Kenny Jamison. How's it going, Kenny?
How you doing?
As you were talking, I'm like, I don't think we introduced any of these guys. I was just like, here's Mo, Curly, and Larry.
That works.
I was going to say that works.
Get something curly.
Nice guy. Excuse me. Next to Kenny Jamison, we got Nate Crone. What's going on, Nate?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
He's officially a Texan. This is the first time I'm seeing him as a Texan, and man, it's just hard to look at him now.
That's true. I get that a lot.
Stupid Texas. AI
Stolen.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's so hot down there. I don't know how Willie
Nelson.
Nelson.
Coming back to this cold weather in Illinois, I'll be honest. It was feeling pretty good down there.
Well, so I could be down there in the winter, but I've been down there in the summer.
Hot, but I'll be honest. It's way more humid here, in my opinion, than it is in Texas. And everybody thinks I'm crazy because down there, the first thing they ask is, what do you think of the humidity? And it's like, you guys don't know humidity like Illinois. Yeah. And I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I seen a news thing a while back. They said, talking about corn sweat. Have you guys heard of this? They say that's why it's so humid is because it's all the moisture
from the
that
corn
comes off the fields.
Crazy.
And I'm like, that kind of makes sense.
It does.
But I'll swear to it, the humidity here is 10 times worse than I think it is.
And we're surrounded by cornfields that they water and then the sun beats down on that. And man, I never really thought about it.
I had never heard that
till
till like 2 years ago. We'd moved down there, and somebody sent it to me, I think on Facebook, but like it kind of makes sense. I don't know if there's a lot of truth to it, but it was on the news.
Yeah, you mix that in with the
true.
3 different rivers and all the lakes around here. I mean, we mentioned fishing earlier, and you said you haven't even been fishing down there. So
not down there. Unless you go out on the ocean, there ain't a whole lot of fishing down there.
Yeah, up here it's everywhere we could go. All the farm ponds around town. So
I missed that for sure.
Man, I got the corn sweats listening to this.
Telling you,
we could tell last night when we rehearsed and Nate showed up wearing a hoodie and a jacket, and we're all wearing T-shirts outside my garage while we rehearsed.
See,
Get used to it.
That is the theory of relativity in play right there. I mean, we're also it was 9 degrees here a few weeks ago. This feels great. Where if you're coming from anywhere near the equator
I'm
to here,
getting over a sunburn if you can't tell. So.
Now he's rubbing it in.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Hey, all the way down to the far end. I hadn't quite made it. Kyle Greenwell, welcome back to the show.
Guys, thanks for having us. Really, this is awesome. It's been we were talking earlier, been 5 years, but
has it been that long?
It has been 5 years, but it's awesome to see you guys, and we are we're thrilled to get to play together this weekend. But also, when Nate called yesterday, and we heard we were going to come here and visit you guys, I got the same excitement. So good to see you guys. Thanks for having us.
Man, absolutely. I'm excited to as soon as I saw the name Flatliner, I was like, ooh, I'm titillated here. I'm getting a little giddy. I had my T-shirt on. I took it off. Like, ooh, Flatliner.
Love it.
So, no, it is great to see you guys. And I know, as we mentioned, Nate, you moved down to Texas. Was that a job pulling you down there?
Yeah, so I've been with Phillips 66 for about 17 years, I guess. I started here at the refinery, but just had an opportunity to come up down in Texas at the corporate office. Kind of jumped out of operations into IT, and now I'm in the midstream portion dealing with pipelines, so it's kind of taking me all over the place. But it's a cool opportunity to go down there.
Well, so like the oil tends to take people to Texas, California, Louisiana, and Alaska, of all places. But you're right. I mean, it's pretty much anywhere you go. There's that business because we are consumers of energy. I know I am. I spend a lot of money on gasoline, man. So, it is Texas is just hard, man. George Foreman, he hates me. He lives down there. I'm just saying. I stabbed a chick in a bar once down there, and I assaulted a horse. None of that's true.
Wow.
None of that's true.
I'd stay out of Texas if I was you.
We'll do some Google searching tonight. Pigpen in Texas.
I've been on cops in every state. Oh man, so there you go. So you were. Did you make the trip back home because of this?
We haven't been back to Illinois, I think, in about 2 years. So the main reason we was actually coming back to kind of visit family, and I think Kenny actually brought up, it's like, hey, if you're going to be in town, like, what about maybe getting back together? And I think my cousin Neal, who's our bass player, couldn't be here tonight, but they do this scholarship fund, and he's wanted for years to kind of put the band back together and kind of do something just for that. Southwestern, they have a committee that they do a fundraiser every year to raise money for all the scholarships. So his is part of that, but he's always wanted to try to get more for it. So this was just an opportunity that I think kind of presented itself, and we were all going to be here at the same time, and weekend worked out. So
all the stars aligned.
Yep.
You know what I just learned from that conversation? Kenny Jamison isn't just the eye candy. He's got good ideas, too.
He's got a whole lot more about him.
I can think about a few good things.
So this was your brainchild.
Well, it was just...
I want to hug you all of a sudden.
After the show.
Oh, I like that.
A memory came up on Facebook, just us singing, and kind of brought up, and I was like, reunion, and Nate's like, I'm actually coming home, and as you said, the stars kind of aligned with it, and 5 years in the making of all of us being on stage together, so it's fun.
So it's literally been a 5 years, man.
Right.
Man, it seems like just a few weeks ago I saw you guys.
I want to say October of 2021. I think was the last one. It was actually for the Southwestern Foundation for the scholarships.
Yeah, it was.
That was the last
That
job
was the last
we
one.
did.
It is. It's the last job we did,
So in the 5 years, were there times, I know you come back to town a few times to see family. Did you guys at least get together to play some music, even if you don't have a show?
I don't think we've played music together.
We played some
till
pool
last
after
night.
dinner.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, like,
That's right.
we met for
pool.
drinks and
That's
stuff just to kind of catch
So-
up, but nothing music.
So when I talked to you on the phone and you were driving from Texas the other day, so you said last night was the first time in 5 years
Yeah.
you guys played together.
Quick practice.
And how to me, I find these situations. I just jammed with two of my best friends. We hadn't jammed in 15 years. You know, and you know, I mean, other than every now and again one of us getting up on stage with somebody or whatever, but yeah. The first night was like, whoa! I felt like like we hadn't missed a beat.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks later, it was like, we're struggling. You know, how did it go last night after 5 years? Was it one of those?
Yeah, if you guys don't mind. So we fired everything up, and it was literally like we picked up where we left off. I mean, it was the craziest thing, at least for me. I mean, I think you guys probably feel the same way. But it was like we hadn't stopped playing at all.
Yeah.
It was wild.
That's what I was saying. Like a few weeks back, my two friends came over after 15 years, and we're like, man, I feel like it's 15 years ago. Like we just did this last week. However, 2 weeks later, we were like, what happened to that magic? And I kind of assumed with you guys, especially the way that you had your sound down and everything. You know what you want. I just had the feeling like you guys got in there and it was just like old times, like that friend that you haven't seen in 10 years and you finished the joke you were telling him 10 years ago when he left.
Well, we've all played with other groups probably at one point or another. You guys know how it is as musicians. You know, you kind of do that, but then when you put something together that it's when it's truly magic and you put it together and you know it is. There's nothing like that. And last night, picking up where we left off, I remembered, and I've been in some great bands and with some great groups and everything, but I remembered that we had something really special. It was pretty cool. It really was.
It's that chemistry.
Did you guys record it?
Actually, I took a couple of shots on my phone, but that was about it. Yeah.
I was just curious because you guys, used to do that, and I was thinking to myself, maybe it's adrenaline that just made you feel great to be playing together. And of course, you guys are family, so it's like a family reunion. So you're just glad to be around each other again, and So I wonder if you listen to it back, if maybe Well, we wasn't that close. So where were you there?
we thought we were, but maybe
There
we
was a
weren't.
few mistakes in there, I'll be honest.
We were playing out of garage amps, things like that in the garage,
Okay.
and a loud drum kit and all that. But
Wait, you didn't like my daughter's drums?
dead ringers, they needed some of those.
Yeah,
But,
she does need some.
no,
Yeah,
it all felt normal and
Yeah.
easy.
it really did. It felt easy is a great way to put it, man. It did. It felt easy. Yep.
So while we're on the subject of family, Mayor C. Owens Memorial, that's family, right? You casually mentioned that, Kyle. That's your bass player, right? Neal.
Yes, sir.
Neal
So
Owen?
Mayor's Neal's daughter. Yeah. And just to kind of go along with what Nate said, the family has for the last 4 or 5 years they've had the opportunity to give away a scholarship each year. This year they're going to give away 2. I talked to Neal about it yesterday. So. Even that much better, and then everything that happens this weekend will go towards next weekend. But to see the faces on the recipients, to know that Mayor is living on through her scholarship for her family who cared about her so much, love her so much, it's been pretty cool to see when we get to hand those out. It's really neat.
And so you got Neal, the bass player, and then is it his dad's Kevin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, and he's the drummer.
Yep.
Right? So there's the Owens family portion of that. And, of course, you're known around here for being related to Joe Greenwell.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Joe was my grandfather. Yeah, that's right. And then Lydia Lee Owens, and man, the music and the line, the lineage there just goes on for a long time. I could just throw out names after name after name, But yeah, pretty cool though to see his videos and to have people come up and ask about him and how it was as a kid and things like that. That's pretty cool.
Now, you had mentioned, and we didn't really dive into it the very first time you guys were on, you mentioned that your dad, Rodney, right,
Yes.
played on the road for like 25 years. What was he doing on the road?
So they played at a group called the Indian Band. So they played around here for years. He and my mom actually played together in the band along with some other friends of ours. But they they try to do what a lot of bands do. They try to do what we try to do, where you put something together, it's special, and you think, hey, you know what, we may be able to do something with this and become stars, quote unquote stars. So I think with this big dream that they hit the road to think, chase that dream, and
right.
because it's not going to chase you. They tried, and they did some cool stuff, much like we did. They got real close, just didn't pan out quite the way that they wanted it to.
Yeah. Now, did they travel most of the United States doing that?
I'd say probably more regionally.
Okay.
Yeah, than the entire country. Yeah, it's more of a regional thing. And then Ballaster Crew, they made it over to where'd they go? Oslo. Yeah, they went over to Oslo, and
wow.
So that's a trip right there.
For sure.
They did actually, in my opinion, they did some really cool things, but actually got a little closer even than the Indian band, and then good buddies like Borderline and Flatliner and all these other the bands in the areas, the Money Shots. I mean, chasing after it, and having a great time while you do it.
You see, I did that. He just dropped all three bands that are going to be playing at the benefit.
Yeah.
I thought you guys worked that out in advance. It was so smooth.
We did.
The other cool thing about
waited for my cue.
About all that, it's passing down to all of our kids too as well.
Yeah.
And,
That's awesome.
The next generation.
Every one of them have a pretty
It's wild.
significant talent.
I mean, honestly, they really do. All of our daughters, our sons. I mean, they're all musically gifted. They really are, and it's it's just blessing passed down after blessing is really truly what it is.
Yeah.
Coming
cool.
from old Grandpa Joe there,
Yeah.
Now seriously,
For the people that don't know, that's a Big Z connection there.
there's a picture of him on the wall right
Right,
behind me.
Yeah, there sure is.
It wasn't called the Big Z then.
No.
But
So we had several.
1937 or something, I think it says.
We've had several musicians sitting in the same chair as you saying, "Oh yeah, I'm related to Joe." I think Matt Tall,
Matt McGibney.
Matt McGibney, my cousin Matt. Yeah,
there's quite a few. I guess musicians tend to spawn other musicians, is what we've learned here, if nothing else. Now, the go ahead, man.
Oh, I was just going to say Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance.
I could see there was something he needed to say. I saw a look in his eye like he's like, wait.
They're not related. I don't think, but I just wanted to.
I bet they are.
They are keeping us afloat, though. So
nice.
Definitely thank those guys.
That's
Going on
awesome.
10 years now. But
Yeah.
anyways, move on.
And Halpin, let's just say this: Halpin music is family to all of us.
Sure.
I not many people come on here that hasn't bought an instrument, at least one of their instruments, at Halpin Music.
That's right.
And I get strings that are right down the street from my house. I go down there all the time whenever I need new strings today. So, big thanks to them, and Matt Van Voorhis, of course, he's family. He'd be my husband if he'd marry me. I've asked him tonight. His wife gets so mad. As does mine. No, Matt, Macias been with us almost 10 years as well. So big thanks to both the sponsors. What we got going on this weekend?
Well,
man?
I want to mention that this Maher C. Owens memorial, if you didn't catch last week's show, it's called Forever in Our Arts and Music Scholarship Fund. And it's going to be Flatliner, Borderline, and Money Shots starting at 2 o'clock. This is on Sunday at the Tri-County Rod and Gun Club in Brighton. So that's this Sunday. I want to give a shout-out to all the Big Z folks who went to our Facebook page and shared it 17 times, Pigpen. That's a big number for us. I mean, so...
Awesome.
We appreciate that, man. So I think you guys are going to pack the house. I'm thinking capacity is just from what I've watched over the years as a response to different things we do. That's a huge response, and it usually ends up. And it wouldn't be the first time you guys or Borderline sold something out.
Yeah.
I mean, so
hometown too. So.
yeah, right. You're right there in Brighton. So, and we blast right into Brighton.
Shout out to Tom's Market. No.
Yeah, good old Tom's.
I used to own property in Brighton, and that's where I'd spend my weekends out on Blue Ridge Lane out there. And afterward, Tom's was our store for that was. I just had a trailer out there that we'd go hang out on on the weekends to get away from our crappy little 700 square foot house that we lived in. And man, we did love some Tom's out there. So Brighton. What a great little place.
Yeah. And when I first seen this, I'm like, wow, Flatliner's playing again. It's going to be cool. It's going to be hard to get them in, though, because, you know, Nate lives down in Texas. And so we're like, well, borderline, we had already been talking to them. And they just basically said, you know, every time we say we're going to put this off, it takes another year and we don't get on. So let's just do it. And it fell right into place last week. And, you know, sometimes destiny is destiny, right? And then Pigpen, our guest, canceled last week.
Yeah.
And so he gave you a call, Nate. And, wow,
appreciate it.
they can make it.
Yeah. Speaking of Destiny, welcome to Stage 3 Destiny. Sorry, when you said Destiny, my brain pictured something else.
That's all right. You go ahead and keep picturing those things. I'm going to keep manifesting good things.
I'm manifesting good things, too.
Yeah, well.
What, just manifested all over myself?
Exactly. Depends on the opinion there, Pigpen.
So, what do we got
Come on,
going
we want to make it through year number 10. You're getting on the edge there.
Go away, working blue there. What's going on Friday?
Oh, you want me to? Well, thanks to Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance, they like for us to tell you what's going on. You know, speaking of country music, there's this guy who recorded at this place called AOK Studios down in Nashville. Have you heard of that, you guys?
Tracy?
You know exactly what I'm
I
talking
worked with
about.
Tracy at the refinery.
Okay, yeah.
He's a good
So
guy.
he's a refinery guy, and he's playing at Fast Eddie's on Friday night from 7 to 11. The Tracy Inman Band. Have you had a chance to check any of his stuff out?
I've heard a little bit on Facebook. I don't know about you guys.
My cousin Matt Odom is actually in that band.
That's right.
So,
That's right. So, and speaking of on Facebook, that's one of his songs. So.
I think we might be related to somebody in every band around here. You know, one of us. You know. I mean,
Well,
that's
you're
why.
definitely tied into the next band I'm going to mention, Money Shot,
Yeah.
who are playing at the VFW
we're
from
an awesome
7 to
band.
11 on Friday night. And so how's the connection to Money Shot tie in there?
Well,
Would you take that one?
I mean, I know Mike.
Right?
I've kind of watched them through different bands. I know Sean. Man, what a great drummer.
Oh, yeah. Sean
For being
Grizzle.
a younger guy, I mean,
He is super
I don't even
good.
know if he was supposed to be in bars when he started.
Yeah.
He's really good. I mean, just band in general. We really like him. I've started following him right before we moved. But yeah, what a great band.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about the weekend, yeah, we're all related and all that good stuff. We're good friends, close friends. But a genuine statement that I can make is that Money Shot, Borderline, great guys, amazing bands, but great guys too. Their characters, amazing. There are times when you get to play with guys and then you leave a show and you think, man, I probably would have left that one behind, when you get to really talking with them and you get to know them. I can tell you, like, the guys that are in these groups are some of the best dudes that you will ever hang out with, ever meet. Just good, genuine people, much like these guys here too, So knowing that we have that put together for a weekend to honor one of the most special human beings that ever walked this planet in Maher is just an awesome, phenomenal feeling. It really is. It's amazing.
Yeah,
It really
it's an
is.
amazing lineup. I mean, not just nice guys, but super talented bands from this
Absolutely.
area. I mean, you guys kill it. Borderline always kills it, and Money Shot always kills it. And when people talk about bands, those are always at the top of the list to go check out. If you haven't
thank you.
seen
Yes,
these guys,
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I know people are excited because when's the next time we're going to see Flatliner, right? You better get out there.
They're welcome
Can
to
we get your
play.
schedule?
They're welcome to play anytime they want to if they want to get a feeling. I have no hard
Kyle
feelings
and
there. if they need
I,
to.
we actually do some acoustic stuff through the year a couple times, and
Yeah, we do a couple charity events every year together. Yeah.
And you usually go by Kyle and Kenny, right?
Yeah, pretty
Kyle and
much,
Kenny,
yeah.
Kenny and Kyle, whatever. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just whatever we
Acoustic
do.
and 2 mics, and
We go by Stan and Cartman sometimes.
Well, we put Flatliner on everything to make sure
Well,
we draw all those.
Good idea.
we
From
still
Flatliner, yes.
Yeah, there you go, from Flatliner. Yeah.
See, I don't think I'm supposed to bring it up, but I heard that Nate said if they want to play again, they got to come down to Texas next time.
He actually did throw that
They're
out.
more than welcome.
He
They
actually
wanna
did
make
throw
the
that out.
journey.
Yeah.
It has to be
A little bit of a
southwest,
drive.
too.
He said he wanted to go down and open for Pat Green. I was like, okay, I'm in. Let's do this.
See, I just go down to Willie's farm, even if I could just make it to the edge and just play to him. You know he can hear. Force him to listen to my music. You know, like you two tried to do to all of us. You know, I don't know.
So Nate, tell us about, when this moment came up that you found out you had to move because, like, you guys were just starting to open for, like, national acts and get things back together following what that happened. And so run us through
tough.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. It was very tough. I just had an opportunity come up. I've always wanted to kind of get into IT. I originally started in operations at the refinery, and it just kind of an opportunity came up, and I was able to make that jump, and they were going to take me. So
who'd you call first? In the
man,
band?
I don't remember. I remember it was a tough conversation. I think with all the guys. I think
You guys just
I think
meet
it was
up?
in a text. Honestly, I think I kind of let everybody know something that came up, and I don't know. Everybody took it pretty well.
I think we all thought it was about time to step
Yeah.
away from
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
I think that's fair.
I don't think anybody was upset.
Yeah,
it was
there
like-
was-
fair. Yeah.
We,
I think
we
you-
every weekend of playing and
Everybody's lives
for
was getting
years
really
straight,
busy.
It was yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of stuff going on at my job. I know Kyle.
Yeah, my
he
job
works for
had me
Midwest
busy as
Petroleum,
well,
and like
yeah.
his job had him running all over Missouri. I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
So it
when
was
Nate
tough.
called, I remember, like Kenny said, it was one of those things where honestly, we were happy for him, for starters, because we
Right.
knew that he was
Yeah.
going to take a great opportunity, But I think for all of us, Kenny with a new bride at the time, focused on that, and I've got my wife, my girls, my 3 daughters, and now my granddaughter, focusing on kind of spending as much time with them as I can. So I think we were all really on the same page with it. It just kind of made sense. I guess.
You kind of nailed it on the head, too, right off the bat when you said, well, we were happy for Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as he asked the question, I thought, boy, even if it was a bittersweet, like, oh, I hate to see this, and you'd be so happy for your buddy
Yep.
that's having the opportunity that you'd be like, well, it doesn't even matter that I'm bumming over here. I'm going to go cry in the corner once they're gone. But you when a friend gets an opportunity, you can't help but be happy for them. So, and to wrap it out where you say, well, we were kind of getting where we're, because if you're out every weekend doing
Well,
it.
it never
it's-
starts that way. It always starts if we're going to play
Oh,
once a week.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Once a
then
month or something like
you
that.
end
and
up
then-
getting all these. You get
everybody's
jobs that pop
calling.
up. Hey, you guys want to open for this, man? Well, it's
Yep.
a great opportunity. Do you pass it up or do you take it? So
Right, yeah.
you end up taking a lot of those, and before long, it feels like you're playing every weekend.
Right.
And I
when
guess-
started
too,
that way.
The money was good.
Yeah, I
when
mean,
you
it
get
was-
an
It
extra
was.
gig, it'd
It
be
was
like,
good.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you played some cool gigs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we did.
right
We had a
about
lot
that
of stuff
time.
for,
yeah.
Right around COVID, that ended up getting canceled because of that. So
Right.
Yeah, we were going to be going to Wisconsin. We were going to be doing almost a regional thing actually when that kind of came up. Actually, unfortunately, for us. But
And I guess the fact that you guys all got family members who play music, you had plenty of things to keep yourself busy as far as music goes. So I think some bands, if that would happen, would be sitting there going, now what do I do? You know what I mean? So it was the right band, too, that it happened to. So that's an interesting story, I think. And, I bring it up because, we talk every week to bands. And, I don't know if the general public understands how all these bands work other jobs. They've got to schedule practice. They've got to schedule around all their kids' practices. And just to get together once a week or once every month, to practice or even play a gig, it's a lot of work for these guys. And I don't know if everyone realizes that unless
it was
you're in
pretty
it.
much a full-time job. I mean, booking all the gigs, getting everything lined up, getting paid on things. I mean, just everything you can imagine comes along with it.
Plus all the time of hiding a little money here and there just to buy some new guitars. And
Yeah.
Oh, look, I got a new guitar. Where do you get the money for that? But the electric's turned off. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if your wife sounds like that, but my wife sounds just like
mine
that.
was actually pretty supportive. So
That's an interesting story. So I wanted to tap into that for a second. Now I'll get back to my list. Salmon Creek's playing up at Tri-County Rod and Gun Club on Friday night. We got Andrew Dahl at George's Pub and Grill from 6 to 9. Psychedelic Symphony playing at the Hog Pit from 7 to 11 as Grafton starts to start doing things again. Down at the Mill, we got Southside Johnny. That's a $9.15 ticket, Pigpen. 8 o'clock at the Mill in Granite City. Remember, I keep talking about these guys, the Waffle House Fight Club. So these guys like to come up with different ideas. So their idea this time is slightly different than what they've been doing. What they've been doing is all requests, no matter what you request, they learn it on the spot and play it.
I like that.
Yeah. And
That's cool, though.
So this time, though, they did something through their website where, like, you had to go to their website, and then they're going to play bingo with all these requests. So it's a music bingo tied to all requests, and that's at Jacob Myers from 7 to 10 Friday night. We got Brandon Muni at backstage at the lake at Holiday Shores in Edwardsville at 7. We got Mr. Blue Sky, the ELO tribute at the Wild E at 8. Native State right across the parking lot at 9 o'clock. Lanny and Julie around the corner at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville from 6 to 9 Friday. Drew Schaefer and Audrey Sims playing the Stagger In again from 6 to 9. And Jack Tweston at the Chop House, the 1818 Chop House from 6 to 9. Pete Krishak, 7 to 10 at the Moose in Edwardsville. And Butch Moore at Peel Woodfire Pizza from 6 to 9. And Joe Bassa at the Barrel and Brew in Edwardsville from 7 to 10. The Sacred Sessions continue this week featuring Blake Foltz from 5 to 8 at the Sacred Grounds Cafe in Edwardsville. And Naked Soul playing out the cabinet at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon. We got the Four Horsemen doing the Metallica tribute with Vulgar Display of Pantera.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah, that's at Pops. Yeah. And they do that, I think, like once a year, maybe twice a year now over at Pops. And we bring up Pops because really it's not that far away. And they have some really interesting shows at Pops, and mostly they do original music quite a bit at Pops, and that's a hard venue to find. So, Our friends Michelle and Scott, I'm going to switch it around. It's been Scott and Michelle forever. We're going Michelle and Scott for a while. They're playing a place called McDill's Irish Pub in Collinsville, and Dustin Coleman at the Wine for the Win, 7 to 10, and Troy and Toxic Johnny out in Troy. Time out.
So here you go. You were talking about some of the neat, like the bands that did the bingo earlier. Waffle House Fight Club. Toxic Johnny has a thing where if you go see him, when you show up, like I saw him at the Grafton Pub, when you walk up to your table and sit down, there is a list of 500, 1,000 songs. They list every song, and so you can request any of them. And it's like a menu where you can just sit and flip through pages and pages. And I'm like, oh, well, that's pretty cool, you know, because I mean, there was like 1,000 songs you could pick out of. So when you brought that up earlier, I was like, who does that thing with the menu book? And I didn't remember that you just said Toxic Johnny. So it's just another one of those.
So
what else,
are you
what
going
else
to go?
we got? I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off. We got Scott Marlin at the.
Hold on there. Hold on. I'm setting you up here.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Because I'm going to make you look like a big star again.
I doubt it.
Your friend Melvin Seals is coming to town.
I saw that. I saw that.
And you know Jake's leg, so I'm sure you've got a backstage pass.
Well, Ryan was supposed to be here tonight, and he kind of, when he asked, he specifically asked for this date months ago, and then he called me a few days ago. He goes, I've double booked it. I'm so sorry. We are already booked to be somewhere else. I did see this with the Melvin and JGB with Jake's leg over at the pageant too. That'll be a great night, man. And Melvin Seals working that Hammond B3 with a double stack Leslie.
So when he played your festival, tell us a story. What you love telling stories. What do you got on Melvin?
Dude, that dude is out of sight, man. He took us all to church. No, he seriously, he like what I just said is what blew me away. He's just an amazing player, but the way he would work the two Leslies, which if you don't know what a Leslie speaker is, it's basically a speaker that spins around in a circle and throws the sound around. But he was working them against each other. They weren't, and it was insane to watch this guy. You know, and it's just smiling, you know, kind of like watching Louis Armstrong sing. You can't be that good and sound like that and smile like it's nothing. Right. You're just making me angry. No, yeah, dude.
So are you going over there Friday?
I might be now. I thought that was next weekend. To be honest, I kind of get lost.
If you bump into Melvin, see if we can release that video. we got it's still in private.
So we actually did release it for a hot moment, but they on the set they cover a Beatles tune.
Oh, okay.
And let me tell you how quick that got
Oh, I
flagged.
bet.
It got flagged immediately and said you can't play that song. And so we ended up we did actually put it up for just a minute.
Maybe we should do like a paywall.
Yeah.
Or like if you pay extra, we can play the videos we can't release. That's what all the YouTubers do, aren't we? YouTubers? I'm not sure if we are or not.
I think I'm what's called a power top downer. I don't know the kids' terminology that well.
Hey, let's talk again about the Maher C. Owens Memorial Forever in Our Yard Art and Music Scholarship Fund with Flatliner Borderline money shot starting at 2:00 at the Tri-County Rod and Gun Club in Brighton. Who's opening up this show? Do you guys know yet?
So Borderline's going to kick it off at about 2. I'm wanting to say that every band's going to play about an hour.
Okay.
So they'll start about 2. About 3, we'll take a half hour probably to set up the next band, then Money Shot, and then I think we're following it up. And then after that, I think it's going to kind of be an open mic. So numerous people, I think, are going to come out, maybe get up and do some
And I got
stuff.
some guesses. Maybe someone from Beowulf? Maybe.
Possibly.
I mean, you guys know the Rollins brothers.
We,
so.
we do.
I think pretty
so
much anybody who
possibility,
comes out
Right.
who's a musician that
Except
wants to get up and
Pigpen.
play.
You don't want him playing.
Oh, and we'll take him in a heartbeat.
Oh,
Bring it. Bring it.
Fool.
He's singing,
you
right?
We said we would leave the special guests unnamed to make sure everybody comes out to see who's there.
See, if you have me,
I'm
it's
a
like
journalist,
a Special
so
Olympics guest.
Pigpen
Sorry.
keeps calling me a journalist, so I got to ask the tough questions. Charlie Brown. What's the chance that Charlie Brown shows up?
Man, I'll tell you what. I will call him when we leave, and I'll see what.
Oh,
what
he's
got
already
going
heard.
on.
I just brought his name up.
Oh, there you go. There you go. He did.
He's aware.
No, I didn't.
No, we'd
We're
love to
not
have
that
Charlie.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess Tommy Carlos would be a stretch.
Tommy's busy down in Nashville doing some great things. Absolutely, we would love to have him there if he's in town. But I know he's got a busy schedule right now. So
Yeah, I kind of figured that, but
yeah,
I was going through a list of possibilities, and I couldn't leave out Tommy.
No, you got to include Tommy with all that for sure. Yeah.
And he's killing it, man.
Yeah, he is. He's doing some great things, and he's doing with some great people. And one of the most humble guys for the success that he's had. He hasn't changed a bit.
For sure.
Hasn't changed a bit. He was my neighbor for several years, and he's Tommy. You know, Tommy's Tommy.
For sure, man.
Yep.
We seen him not too long ago. He stopped in when he was in town, and spent some time with us. So you're right, man. That's the kind of guy he is.
He is.
He doesn't have to, but he came on down. So that's awesome. All right, I'm done. I'm done digging.
No, you've done great, man.
I
I
got
think
to.
it's open mic for anybody, I think, really.
Did you had specific times, didn't you, or no?
For what?
For the bands. I know you gave the order.
2
but-
o'clock starting, and like I said, probably 2 to 3. I'm guessing 2 to 3 for Borderline. Half hour in between. So, Money Shot will be following right after this.
3:30 to 4:30 for Money Shot. Another half an
We'll
hour.
probably
You guys
shoot to
kick
start
off
around
about
5.
Yeah. Nice.
So, have you guys thought about what you're going to play?
We have a set list we ran through. It's a little loose right now, I think. Depending on how practice went last
This started
night,
off with about 10 songs last night, and by the time we were done, it had about 30. So,
Yeah.
so it'll be
I
all
wonder
over the
how
place.
that went. I mean, because you haven't played together in forever, and you got this extensive set list that you haven't touched in forever.
Some of
So,
them are definitely easier to play than others.
Well, then you have people come out. They want to hear Kenny sing certain songs. They want to hear Nate sing specific songs. So you got to consider those types of things
Right.
too. Like, hey, what are we putting on this list?
Our lists have always been pretty good of equally sharing
Yep.
that front mic. So
Agreed.
that's
yeah,
one great
because you
thing
guys
with
pass
us,
a
so.
mic, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So, how about a song that you went, we're not going to be able to do that one.
Which one?
Yeah.
How many were there?
By the end of practice, we were like, we'll be all right with that one.
Oh, okay.
Put it at the end of the list.
Yeah.
After everybody's drank a little.
That's
Get
a
a little
maybe.
loose.
Well, that one's a maybe.
That's a maybe. Yeah. I think by the time we were done, we had a solid 5, right? That we were definitely going to play.
And Kyle was going to talk for about 45
And I
minutes.
talk a lot, so that takes up a lot of time.
He's
So.
going to filibuster this event.
Yeah, pretty much.
Plus, you got 2 other bands that can cover the rest of the night by themselves.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what we're counting on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're hoping that's the game.
See,
for
this,
sure.
this is where that open jam comes in at the end. They know they can quit any time and be like, hey, we're we're done. Open jam time.
We'll have to go out on a good one, though.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, so Sunday's not far away. How many times you going to rehearse before then?
I think that was it.
That was it.
One time.
Wait.
What you're hearing is what you're gonna hear.
Here's the thing. It's not about sprucing the songs up or putting a shine on them for other folks. I can't believe you're not getting together like as many times as you can. Going, you don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. But
They
to
just
me,
schedules.
Yeah.
Everybody's working, and I mean it's hard to.
It's what I said before the show. How do people find time for a job? You know, there's way too. You guys should be jamming.
Well,
If only.
not everybody's like you, Pigpen. They have, things that they have responsibilities and.
I live off green stamps.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think people. What's cool about a band? I mean, you think about being teammates on a sports team or something, or co-worker or something like that. But being in a band together, to me, just doing it over the years, there's really nothing else like it. There's really not. I mean, you have to know what the other hand is doing, what the other person's doing, and through the entire song, especially with these guys. I love that I get to front the band, but all I do is sing. I mean, that's it. All I sing and that's it. But when these guys play together, though, and everything is when they're in the zone, there's nothing quite like that feeling out there. There's just not. I mean, the winning goal or the winning touchdown or whatever, it doesn't compare. I don't think. I mean, I've been on some teams and stuff, but being in a band, you're finishing each other's thoughts. It's cool.
So it's kind of like I hadn't really thought about that analogy quite exactly, but if you're on a team, well, the whole team made this thing happen, this ending happen. Yep. But there is something a little different about when you're creating music. It's so in the moment. It's a conversation at some point between instruments that you're listening and responding. Yeah, we know how the tune goes, but if one guy does this certain note, it's going to lead you to go, oh, okay, and it's you're creating something in real time that takes a group of people to create. That if one person changes, it's different. Yep. It changes the whole aspect of it.
I can't help myself, Pigpen. How many teams did you ever play on?
Well,
were you on any teams at all in your life?
I've been on a bunch of teams. There was a team of horses I used to lead on Dasher and Dancer.
It kind of sounded like
I was on the Alton High basketball team my freshman year.
I know what you were trying to say, but sometimes that happens in sports too. So I'm going with Kyle. There are times when the third baseman makes a play that
No, I was trying to go with what he said too. He said that it's not the same as playing music together, being on a sports team. And I was trying to say I think there are times when
Democrat and Republican going here. I'm not debating you. I'm just saying I don't think you played much sports. Because there are times it's very similar to music, I think,
See, I don't think he understood what was saying. You said it wasn't that way, and I was trying to say it was more that way. I was actually leading into it was more that way than.
Yeah.
That's how I took what you were saying. Yeah, I did. I took it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to debate. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it happens in sports too. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Sorry.
He played third base for the Rangers one year.
I taught Pete Rose how to cheat.
Anyhow.
Nice.
So fun.
Yeah, fun. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm so confused.
Are you ever sure?
I got the corn sweats over here.
There you go.
Well, this is where I bail you out, Pigpen, because I know what's happening.
Thank you.
Saturday.
Oh, the future.
Yeah. This Saturday.
What's happening?
Brought to you by Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. We got a double Mila and Aaron Joe show. The first one's going to be at Bubby and Sissy's from 1 to 4, and then the next one at Morrison's Irish Pub from 5 to 9. And then we got Graham Pagano at Bossa Nova from 4 to 7, and Porch Cafe is debuting. First time they've done this. They present the music of heart. 7 o'clock at the conservatory. We talked to them about that, and I like that when a cover band just decides we're not going to name this like some heart song. We're just going to say we're Porch Cafe, and we present the music of heart. So I like that idea.
And the Wilsons, that's some tough.
Money Shot's busy this weekend. They're playing at Fast Eddie's Saturday night from 7 to 11 after the double wide duo opens up at 1:30. And we got the Doppelganger out at Baker's and Hale in Godfrey from 7 to 11. I've been telling you how busy Psychedelic Symphony is.
Yeah.
8 o'clock at Doc Holliday's and Cottage Hills. We got the Portholes. What kind of music do you think the Portholes play?
I'm hoping sea shanties.
Close. It's yacht rock, Pigpen, of course.
There you go.
8 o'clock at the Pump House in Wood River, where we were talking about Flatliner playing last time they were on. They were going to do a Pump House show.
That's right.
We did do one over there.
Yeah.
Place.
Yeah, it was.
So I think that was the first time you guys had played there, if I remember
I think
correct.
it was, yeah.
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 It was. Yeah.
Also going on, they're starting St. Patty's this weekend at some places, right? Whiskey River's playing at Chico's from 6 to 10, and then St. Patty's with Leadfoot, 1:30 at the Hog Pit in Grafton. Leadfoot's been around a long, long time. Synergy at the Grafton Winery, Lily Allen Band at the Grafton Pub, both 3 to 7 slots, and Chris Smith playing the Bloody Bucket from 7 to 10 in Grafton. We got Flip the Frog out at Stanley's in Delhi. That's actually a Jerseyville address if you're using your, what do they call them things, Pigpen?
GPS?
Very good, very good. That's a sports team. Did you know that?
I didn't. But what are they, rugby?
Remember the Flaming Love Seats? That was one of your favorite teams.
Still is.
Yeah.
I got their commemorative cup from 1982 sitting at my desk.
I'm trying to set up the spring comedy show hosted by Pigpen.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
Actually, Adam Schaefer with how do you say that one? Eric Rusler
Oh, yeah.
and Carter Heights. That's at Tegan's in Granite City. And man, Granite City's music scene continues to grow. We got the House Shakers at the Old Corner Tavern. Now they call it Sam's Last Chance Saloon in Edwardsville from 7 to 10. Blue Sky back for 2 more shows on Saturday, a 3 o'clock and an 8 o'clock. I've heard they're outstanding. Haven't seen them.
Well,
Alice,
if you're covering ELO, you better be on your game, man.
right? Alice in Reverse across the parking lot at Backstage at 9. We got Eric Ing, Eric Barnes, Tim and Brian Cum, and Tim Crum, and Tim Bearden. Lots of Tims and Erics in there. They all ran together on me, as you can tell.
Yeah.
They're doing the Stagger In. That's like a whole house full there.
It's a crowded stage.
Here's something different I've seen, and tell me what you think of this. It's called the Artini. Artini cocktail competition. What do you think they're making?
They're making some cocktails that look super fancy, making art out of liquor.
That's right.
Which I believe in making art out of liquor, making liquor out of art, whatever.
And so that's going to be with Matt Heaton from
Nice.
6 to 10 at the LeClaire Room at NO Nelson Campus in Edwardsville. I have no idea where that's at.
I am unfamiliar, but I'm going to Google that.
Yeah, you can Google it up. So that's basically what's happening. The closest ones. There's a lot more going on.
Yeah?
In the outskirts,
All right.
the outlying areas.
It goes on for pages here. Pages
does.
and pages.
It does.
All right. Well, everybody can find that information at cottonmouth.org. Cottonmouth.org.
I think this is one of them. You tried to get Maddie Shell in.
I did. I left I left her a message a while back, and I have not been able to make contact with her. 'Cause
Right.
She's in the Jesus Christ, not
Yes.
Superstar.
Well, it's the 314 Pi Day showcase. Yeah, with Jesus Christ Supercar, Maddie Shell, Atomic Junction, and that's at the Sovereign, which is the old rock house.
And I'm telling you, that I've only been to that venue one time so far, out of sight. They did a great job with that venue.
Yeah, it's interesting. Dracula Johnson back at it. They're over at the Heavy Anchor with Queen Deer and Sewer Urchin.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a new one. I'd not heard of them yet.
The old school punk rockers Destroy the Future, still going, 8:30 at the Redfish Bluefish in St. Charles to wrap up some Saturday shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But the big show is on Sunday, Mayor C. Owens Memorial. The Scholarship Fund with Flatliner, Borderline, And money shots starting at 2 o'clock. Too late to get the too late to get the Woody's chicken.
They may have some the day of, but not guaranteed. That's why I think they did the pre-sale. So
Yeah.
No, but I like the way you put that out there. There might be some, so you might as
could
well
be
show
some.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
well,
show up.
yeah,
who
we still
knows,
want you
man.
to come.
Right.
You know, in the Philippines, one of the big things they like to do, they're very poor there. They go around and they collect all the old chicken bones, and then they refry them. And that's a big thing over there.
I don't think we're doing that.
Yeah.
But
Okay, well, I was going to show up there. Going to be a
People
lot
I
of
know would
Filipinos
roll
there.
those chicken bones and be like, "You're gonna die." so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna buy a bunch of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I'm gonna put it in Woody's boxes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'll probably get beat up before the night's over. This is not Woody's chicken. I smell 12 herbs and spices on there.
You know, Scott's breaking out his bagpipes. This
I
weekend.
heard about that. I'm
Scott
sure he's
from
gonna be
Scott
wearing a
and Michelle.
kilt.
Right. That's the only bagpipe player I think we've ever had on.
Yeah, and that is a tough instrument, man.
Yeah, for sure. You're definitely going to blow out your cheeks on that one.
I'm blowing out my cheeks just thinking about it, man.
Hey, you're going to want to check cottonmouth.org because on Tuesday there's a bunch of gigs
On Tuesday.
because it's St. Patrick's Day.
I bet my friend Magic Johnson's going to be out there doing something, right?
He's doing some magic. That's right, at Bossa Nova and Flip the Frogs playing at Sunset Grill in Godfrey.
Wow, nice. Okay.
Probably doing Eagle song. How could you not?
I would hope so at the Sunset Grill. Anyway,
So nice to get back together with Flatliner and be a part of their reunion.
And big shout out, I don't know if we talked about it, but they'll have a live auction as well. So Cody
Okay.
Handled from Handled's Auctioneering, they'll be there. They're going to be doing live auctioning for St. Louis Cardinals tickets, some tickets to the Fabulous Fox Theater, some handmade wooden flags. They get a lot of great stuff that I think they're going to be auctioning off, and then like one of the Mayor's original drawings. So I know we kind of talked about it, like Mayor was very big into arts and was big into music. So she has a lot of original drawings. I think they're going to be auctioning one of those off.
wow.
She actually got to do a Make-A-Wish, which was really neat, where they flew them out to New York, and they got to go to Broadway.
Oh,
and I think she
wow.
actually got to go on stage with
Oh.
Hamilton. That was her favorite.
Hamilton, huh?
Yeah, her
Wow.
favorite play. So pretty
That's
neat.
awesome.
Yeah.
So that'd be a big one. Hopefully, we can raise a lot of money for this.
Yeah,
her
and,
memory.
and this is for like Southwestern high school kids, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Scholarships, all types of scholarships, I guess.
Yeah, arts, music. So there's a few guys that we have not mentioned yet that I just want to kind of maybe just shout out to real quick. Chris Seneker, Matt Caston, and Bobby Groves. We're all kind of in the infancy stage of when Neal and Sherry wanted to create this scholarship. They were heavily involved to help get this thing going, and it really has. It's just gotten better with each year. The more and more people that get involved. Neal, coming up with this idea. I think Neal's been thinking about doing this for probably 3 or 4 years. He's wanted to do this, and now it's coming to fruition. And guys, Sunday's going to be an awesome event. We really encourage everybody to please, if you can, be there. It's a great event for an amazing young lady. Come out and hang out with the 3 groups that are going to be there. And I know we're getting close on time probably here, but want to thank you two so very much again for the invite, for having us back on to share what we have going on Sunday. Thank you so much. We are extremely grateful, guys. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys very much.
Super happy to have you on and have you talk. We had, as Dennis brought up too, we had Borderline on last week, so we were covering the event. We had that, but then when the opportunity came up, and I knew Nate was coming to town, I got his number. Let me find my black book.
Happy you called.
And so happy to see you guys. Happy to see you back, even if it's momentary and we don't get to keep you. Stupid Texas.
Yeah, hopefully maybe we can do it every year. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely,
talking.
man. Yeah. Make this an
A lot of
annual
glimmer of hope,
event.
maybe.
I think it'd be cool. Yeah, do something like that, annually, especially for mayor. I think it'd be awesome just to
For sure.
maybe consider something like that.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for a few years now, right? The Mayor C. Owen?
Yes, sir.
Five
I think,
years.
So I think they actually raised money for hers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's outside of what Southwestern actually
Okay,
does.
I got
So I
you.
think they have a committee that kind of handles all a bunch of different scholarships. I don't know that hers is actually involved in that one though. So I
Okay.
think this becomes a bigger deal because it helps raise money specifically for that one and fund it.
Okay, I got you.
Yep, that is
Gotcha.
correct.
Nice. Well, hey, thanks so much for doing that. I know it's like it's family, so it's even easier. But we talk all the time about how anytime everybody needs a benefit when the time comes. I don't care if you worked a job and you've got insurance. You're
Right.
going to need a benefit because it's $1 million.
Yep.
And the musicians always step up first. It's every benefit has 3 or 4 bands playing at it because musicians always say, man, we'll help out.
Yeah.
And thanks for being that band. Thanks for doing it. Again, it's easier when it's family.
Big shout out
but
to Money Shot and Borderline. I mean,
For
without
sure.
those guys, we couldn't even put it on. Borderline's actually letting us use their PA
Yeah, they're gonna
system.
provide sound.
So, like,
Yeah.
without those guys, I don't think it may have not have happened at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, man. Well, big shout out to both Money Shot and Borderline for being a part of it.
For sure.
Everybody get out there. It's Sunday. It's at the Brighton Rod and Gun Club. So find your way up to Brighton. Get out there. Might be Woody's Chicken available, is what I hear. I heard a rumor earlier that there was going to be. So, well, I don't know.
Definitely going to be there, whether it's available or not is the thing.
Okay, I'm just trying to get some
I know
folks.
I'll get
Hopefully, we
some.
got everybody
I know that.
pre-ordered that wanted it, but I think there will be some
Li-
available today.
This is what I'm going to tell you. Even if all the Woody's Chicken is sold out, it's still going to smell like Woody's Chicken in there. It's totally worth going.
That's worth going for.
Totally worth going.
So, being down there in Texas, Nate, did you see the big deal that happened when they decided to sell some Woody's Chicken again out of the...
I did.
Yeah.
Man, it was like, 2-4 hour
Yeah.
wait, I
Long
think.
wait.
They were wrapped around
Long
the block.
line.
So,
Crazy.
I think Sherry and Neal was pretty excited because I think they kind of know the people that run that and be able to get them involved in this, I think that was a pretty big deal
Yeah.
for them. So,
Yeah,
hopefully it pays off and we can fund this scholarship with it. So,
for sure, man.
and
Sounds
big
like...
shout out to those guys too, like for them to be able to jump in here and help out too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
big shout out for them because I know they have a lot of stuff going on too.
And I mean, Woody's was legendary around
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Everybody knew that. Matter of fact, I still go into the Woody's building all the time. Now that it's a dispensary, I go there a lot. Now,
For sure.
More than when it was Woody.
more than when it was Woody's.
More than when it was
somehow.
Woody's.
I wish it was half Woody's.
I was just gonna say,
dispensary,
could
man.
you
I
just do
walk-
both?
Yeah.
Hit the dispensary, then the chicken.
Yeah.
Can I get an ounce of Maui Wowie and a bucket of chicken to go? That's the world I want to live in right there.
Oh, that's great.
Usually swings by there right before soccer practice, which he's late for now. So.
I'm late for so many things. It's crazy. I'm late for my period.